Welcome back to the Teacher Biz podcast. Today in the show, I'm going to share with you my experience in creating my very first digital course and all of the mistakes that I made along the way. I'm going to tell you where I went wrong, the decisions that I made that weren't so good. And I want to share this with you so that you can leapfrog over these mistakes in your own business and with your own course and avoid them so that your course creation experience goes so much more smoothly than mine did. So here we go. Here are my top 3 mistakes in creating my very first online course. Okay, so I'm excited to share with you the mistakes that I made in creating my very first online course because I think it'll help you. I think it'll be helpful to you to hear what I did wrong, what I could have done better so that you can do it better yourself. Okay, so let's break down the top 3 mistakes that I made in this course. But I want to tell you that the reason I made these mistakes is because I was kind of piecemealing together how I wanted to create it. I didn't really have a clear path in creating my course. I didn't really have a framework that I was following or a step-by-step, here's what you do to create a course. Since this time, I've taken Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy, and now I feel like I know what I'm doing every time I create a course. I've made a few that since then. I have Teacher Biz Tech on this side of my business, which, by the way, I don't even show my face in that course. I just share my screen and guide you click by click through how to do all of the technology piece of running an online business. But even above that, I'm creating a course this fall for Teacher Biz. I don't want to share too much about it yet, but it's going to be incredible. And creating that, I know what I'm doing so much because I have this clear path to follow. I have this step-by-step system for creating this course. And it is just so powerful to have that in your back pocket and really know what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying to never start something unless you have a clear path, but when you do, it's just like the ultimate shortcut. So for sure, now I could do a lot of things better than I did then. The first mistake that I made in creating my first online course was that there was too much content. It is way too big of a course for a preschool mom to actually go through every single thing. Now, plenty of moms have gone through it and made it work, and it's fine. But if I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't include quite so much information. I think it's a little overwhelming, to be honest. And it was also overwhelming to create because there was so much information in it. And so that was my first mistake. I included too much information in too many different lessons. I didn't outline it perfectly. I didn't have Amy's process for outlining a course, which is such a game changer. And so that was where I went wrong with that one. Okay, now this part is kind of embarrassing, but mistake number 2, and it's the reason that I created so many short lessons, besides thinking that it was actually better for the moms, which I did think that, but part of me thinking that was my own wanting to reassure myself that I was doing it right because I was so new to actually doing anything on video when I created that course. And I didn't know how to edit video yet. I couldn't edit the video. So I created a lot of short lessons because every single time I made a mistake, I stopped recording. I went back to the beginning and I tried to record the whole video over again, the whole thing. I mean, starting from scratch. I had to stop and start again about 1,000 times while I was creating that course, so many times. And it was just dumb. Looking back on it, it was crazy to me. It's actually not that hard to edit a video. And so of course I could have learned how to do that. That's one thing. Like if you have that limiting belief that I had that I couldn't edit video, you absolutely can do that. But aside from all of that, you don't have to say every single thing perfectly inside of your course, like I felt like I did. So I felt like people were paying for this course and I had to make it perfect and I did not want to misspeak. And it's hard to talk for 8 minutes without ever saying the wrong word or the wrong sentence or not how you meant to say it. I was reading a script, which is not a thing I do anymore, and it was really challenging. So if I could do it differently. Oh, and then in addition to that, I didn't know enough to know that I really could have just shared my slides in my course and not had my face on camera. Maybe I would have done a face to camera welcoming you to the course and congratulating you at the end, but all of the lessons in between could have just been my slides with me voicing over explaining the concepts. And that way I could have just been looking at my notes without trying to make the eye contact during the course. That would have been so much better. There would have been so many less mistakes. And even if I wasn't confident enough to edit the video, I probably could have got through it smoother doing it that way. Really, a combination of both of those things, doing slides without my face for a lot of it, and then editing a few things afterwards would have been ideal. It would have been so much simpler. But instead of taking the time to learn those things, I took the time to stop and restart my recording 10 million times. So that was bananas. Do not ever do that. You absolutely could edit video and you don't need to show your face in every single video. Now, if you want to do a face to camera course, which now I know this too, I have a face to camera mini course called Teacher Biz Basics, and it guides you through the first beginning stages of starting your teacher biz. It's a really heartfelt. I wanted to like hold your hand and guide you through this and look at your face and encourage you that you can actually do this thing. So I wanted to do a face to camera course. So when I was creating Teacher Biz Basics, I learned the secret for actually creating an effective face to camera video course, and it is to not have a script. Okay, so maybe that sounds a little crazy. When you're creating a digital course, you want to have a script. I understand how you might feel that way, but instead of a script, I just had notes. I had an idea about what I wanted to talk about in each of the video lessons, and then I knew that I knew this content so well. I had lived it. I had created a teacher biz doing these things. Some of them I did every day, day in and day out in my business. I knew this content. I didn't have to read a script that I wrote about all of the pieces of it. I just jotted down a few points that I wanted to hit in each of the videos. And I knew that a big piece of it would just be me looking at you through the camera and telling you that the things that I'm explaining, you could do this. You could actually do this, which, by the way, if you're listening to this right now, you can do this. Hear me when I say that. So that's the secret to creating a face to camera course. And Teacher Biz Basics is so good because I didn't follow the script. But back to my first course and the mistakes that I made with it, Kindergarten Ready Roadmap. So this was a massive course, and mistake number 3 is that I did not price it accordingly. Kindergarten Ready Roadmap was a signature course. It was huge. It encompassed everything that your child needed to learn before kindergarten, all of the academic skills, and then there was a bonus about social skills. So it was huge. It was a signature course, and I was trying to sell it for $97, which is not enough for a signature course. And it really wasn't a right fit for that market, the audience that I've created. And part of this is my fault, but they really like low-priced activities. They like one skill at a time. They like things organized and done for them and in bite-sized pieces. So really, I don't know that they need a signature course. My best big offer over there on my business, that side of my business, is my membership, Kindergarten Ready Club, where I'm dripping the information and the activities out to them every single month. That is a home run and really a better fit than the course was. So I've learned that over the years. But I shouldn't have been trying to create a signature course for $97. A $97 course is more of a tiny starter course, like Amy was talking to us about last week. Maybe a spotlight course, but I think even that should be closer to $300 and not $97. And so So it wasn't price course match. There was no alignment there. It wasn't priced accordingly for everything that I was giving inside of the course. And then it just never really took off in the way that I wanted it to. Now I have about 500 students of that course who have gone through it. Many of them have left rave reviews, but also many of the people who have purchased that course never got around to finishing it. Maybe it's because it was too big of a course. Maybe it was because they only paid $97 for it and didn't feel invested enough to continue. Um, I don't know what it was. And it's hard to get feedback from people who are not logging in to finish. It's much easier to get feedback from people who are your biggest fans, who are really excited about the work that they're doing and invested in the course. So I feel like it's easier to get the positive reviews than any negative feedback from people, which is, okay in some ways. Some ways the negative feedback is hard to hear, but when you're looking to improve, it's kind of necessary. And I do wonder why they didn't all finish, but my gut feeling is that it was too overwhelming and that it was too low priced. So please learn from my mistakes. When you are creating a digital course, it is so much better to have a clear path to follow, to know the first step and then the next step, and know what order to do things in. And this path has already been paid for us. I mean, it's so clear. It has been. And once I was able to learn from someone who is an actual digital course expert, Amy, then it just got so much easier for me. Amy's bootcamp is incredible. If you're not sure if a course is right for you, or if you want to really dive into creating a course, if you're not sure what your course topic would be, or what kind of course to create, or how much to price the thing, if you want to avoid the mistakes that I made that I told you about here today, her bootcamp will help you do that. Plus, there's a hearty dose of motivation and mindset training, which I think is just so, so powerful. Amy and I talked about a lot of important mindset concepts on last week's episode, and she's going to do that for you inside of her bootcamp too. So to sign up for Amy Porterfield's Course Confident Bootcamp, go to teacherbiz.com/course, and you can sign up there and get my bonuses too. I think it's going to be incredible. It's only $47. So if you're not sure about her big program, or even if you know that you can't afford her whole Digital Course Academy program this year, definitely do the bootcamp and get what you can out of that. It is so powerful. I hope you learned from my mistakes in this episode and that it was helpful to you. Until next time, I'm cheering for you.